I'm willing to bet that nobody hopped on the subway or took the train to school today, am I right? Well, you may have ridden your bike, taken the bus, maybe even walked. But the fact of the matter is that we live in a state where driving a car must become second nature to us. Living in California has made us dependent on the automobile because in our society it is our primary means of transportation. Today I'll be talking about why a BMW is the best car to drive and why and what makes it, as BMW would say, the ultimate driving machine. I've been researching information on BMWs for quite some time now, much from BMW.com as well as a couple other reliable sources. I've also grown up around these vehicles, having an uncle and a father that used to sell them, work on them, and a couple wise investments among my extended family over the years. As for my family, we have 4, and yes, I drive one as well. That just made me sound really spoiled, but I promise they're not all brand new, not even close. All of us in here are drivers, and today our lives revolve around our cars. I know that sounds pretty materialistic, but we all know that's the truth. And when your car is such a major part of your life, you should love what you drive, and I'm here to tell you that BMW will love you back. So this morning I will provide you with some BMW background and define BMW's unrivaled value, safety, and performance. Before I step into my BMW spokesman act, I want to give you a brief history lesson on Bavarian Motor Works, aka BMW. I'm sure you're all familiar with the BMW logo, but I also bet that most of you don't know what it represents. It's supposed to be a white airplane propeller in front of a blue sky. Yes, that's right. This German engineering company started out as an aircraft engine producer nearly a century ago during World War I. And the emblem has stuck ever since. In the 1920s, they began manufacturing motorcycles, and in 1952, the first BMW cars were produced in Munich, Germany. They were the Isetta and the 1500. In the late 60s, a tiny little car called the 2002 made its debut in the U.S. BMW.com says it was lightweight, fuel efficient, and agile like a sports car. The 2002 embodied an entirely new concept for Americans and laid the tracks that BMW has been running on ever since. Almost 10 years later, the 3 Series was born, and still remains the benchmark to which all other sports sedans are measured today. BMW has continued to expand its models and turn traditional aesthetics upside down. Now that you know a little BMW history, let's look at the factor that most of us are usually concerned with most, the price. While I do realize that it's pretty unrealistic for many of us to buy a brand new BMW, especially in today's economy, I firmly believe that you can experience the ultimate driving machine, whether it's new or used. BMWs have an extraordinary resale value. In fact, KellyBlueBook.com has awarded BMW over 10 Best Resale Value Awards since they were established in 2003, according to BMW.com. You must remember that it's still BMW, a car ahead of its time since the very beginning. However, if you have a little extra pocket change, then the new one is the way to go. When comparing the cost of a BMW to others in its class, like the Audi, Mercedes, and Lexus, you may notice that competitors offer lower monthly payments. However, BMW.com insists that this is done before factoring in the true cost of ownership. This is the various charges that you pay over the years for routine maintenance and premium services. With BMW, you get a well-equipped model, as well as scheduled inspections, brake pads, oil service, roadside assistance, and many other valuable services with their no-cost maintenance program. That is $0 for the first 4 years or 50,000 miles, whichever comes first. No other automaker in its class offers such outstanding benefits for no fee. Theirs all come at an extra charge. This means that their lower monthly payment isn't so low after all. For example, the BMW 328i, the most popular BMW of 2009, was almost $1,000 less for the total cost of the car than the Mercedes C300 and the Audi A4, its 2 leading competitors. And while you would spend close to $3,000 in maintenance and repairs for the C300 in 4 years, says KellyBlueBook.com, you'll be sitting pretty in your BMW with a little extra pocket change. I've given you a good idea about its unrivaled value. Now I want to discuss some of the features that make BMWs one of the safest cars on the road. At BMW, they believe that being able to stop quickly is more important than being able to drive fast. Their innovative enhanced braking system can do more than just slow your car down. If it's raining, they can dry off your rotors, they can keep you from rolling when stopped on a hill, and if you quickly pull your foot off the gas, the brakes will barely hug the rotors and prep you to stop just as quickly. BMW's night vision is its incredible new technology that lets you see people or animals up to 328 yards ahead in the dark. This is made possible by a small infrared camera located at the front of the car that you can view through the navigation system monitor and be able to avoid road hazards well before they are visible to the naked eye. So says BMW.com. Lastly and definitely not least, BMW has fitted their cars with run-flat tires. These are reinforced, self-supporting tires that allow you to drive on a punctured or leaking tire for up to 150 miles by maintaining their shape. Yes, you do have to drive at a reduced speed if this happens, but at least you won't have to pull over in some sketchy neighborhood to change a tire or wait for assistance. Sure, BMWs are the most reasonably priced cars in their class and contain some of the most innovative safety features. But what really makes this vehicle the ultimate driving machine is, of course, how it performs. I've informed you that the BMW car company has come a long way from airplane motors. But when you get in the driver's seat of a BMW, you can consider yourself in the cockpit of a jet nonetheless, because that's precisely what these vehicles are, jets with wheels instead of wings. For you power-hungry motorheads out there, this one's for you. Edmunds.com, an online automotive consumer guide, states that a 3-liter inline-six engine comes standard across the board for the BMW 3 Series. However, the new 335i comes with a 3-liter inline-six twin turbocharged engine to produce 300 horsepower and 300 pounds-per-feet of torque. Some of you are looking at me right now like you have no idea what I'm saying. The only way I can translate to you is fast. And when I say fast, I mean that this car goes 0 to 60 in 5.2 seconds. Its rival, the Mercedes C350 Sport, that comes equipped with a bigger 3.5-liter engine, 3.5-liter V6 engine, only makes 268 horsepower and 258 pounds-per-feet of torque, and runs the 0 to 60 sprint in 6.2 seconds. So imagine for a second taking your current car, whatever it may be, and accelerating into a curve. Suddenly you hit a slick spot, sliding, sending your car violently out of control, spinning onto the other side of the road into oncoming traffic. Are you confident that you could recover quickly enough to avoid a possibly fatal collision? Well, BMW's Dynamic Stability Control, DSC, can actually think faster than you can. Derek Dicker, longtime friend and current salesman at Shelley BMW, informed me that when the car begins to slide, the Dynamic Stability Control reacts in less than a second, slowing the engine down and braking each wheel individually to help your out-of-control vehicle regain its traction. Now, I know everyone is impressed with BMW's potent engine power and the car's ability to react faster than you can, but what's the one thing that everybody looks for in cars these days? Great gas mileage. Despite their incredible muscle, BMWs have always been relatively fuel efficient. The 3 Series gets about 18 miles per gallon in the city and 25 to 28 miles per gallon on the highway. The larger 5 Series clocks in at almost exactly the same mileage. BMW has also made a few new contributions to the Going Green campaign, including its advanced diesel line. I quote, "This is a diesel operating system that has been re-engineered to have a 99% lower emission rate and a far greater fuel economy than the diesel from the past. The V6 diesel engine is said to have greater torque than most V8s on the road and clocks in at an impressive 23 miles per gallon in the city and 36 miles per gallon on the highway." This morning I've talked about a few key aspects of BMWs, including its unrivaled value, safety, and performance. I assure you that I've hardly scratched the surface and that this one-of-a-kind vehicle is in a league of its own. So when the time comes for you to buy a new car, new or used, consider some of the things that you've learned this morning. And don't be afraid to do a little research of your own. BMWs will blow your mind. After all, they are the ultimate driving machine.